Zion Williamson's journey to becoming a star. Zion Williamson has quickly become a household name in the NBA in just a few years. The superstar forward has even been touted as a savior of the New Orleans Pelicans once or twice in the past. However, it didn't always used to be this way. He had to work and grind for everything that he's been able to accomplish in the big leagues up to this point in his career. So, let's take you all the way back to the beginning and talk about the journey he took to become a star. Zion was born in Salisbury, North Carolina. When he was growing up, he didn't really have a particular interest when it came to sports. Throughout his elementary and middle school years, he was playing a variety of sports that piqued his interest. Among those were soccer and football. When it came to football in particular, he played the quarterback position, believe it or not. Eventually, he started to get into basketball. He got so into the sport that he began waking up at 5 in the morning every day just to go ahead and train. Williamson started performing in youth leagues and went on to play for the AAU rosters shortly after that. At some point along the way, Williamson was playing against opponents that were all 4 years older than him as well. It didn't take long for him to understand the game though. His stepfather was a former college basketball player, so he taught him all his tricks to becoming a good point guard. His mother was also a coach for him, helping him reach heights that some people never thought were possible. Once he started to get a grip on the positions, he marched his way into the high school. Zion attended Spartanburg Day School. As he went from the 8th to 9th grade, Zion launched up from 5'9" all the way to 6'3". That insane spurt coupled with his incredible work ethic had him dunking when he got into high school. He was able to start for the school and averaged 24.4 points, 9.4 rebounds, and 2.8 assists. 3.3 steals, and 3.0 blocks per game. He was impacting the game everywhere you looked. He got recognized by being All-State and All-Region. The same season saw him take the school to a state championship as well, though they weren't really able to pull out the win. In his sophomore season, Zion was 6'6". He even got better somehow, averaging 28.3 points, 10.4 rebounds, 3.9 blocks, and 2.7 steals per game. It was at this point when it was genuinely terrifying to play against him. He was the SCISA Player of the Year for this region and took the school to a title, the first year in their history. Oh, but it gets better. Williamson dominated during his junior year. He averaged 36.8 points, 13.0 rebounds, 3.0 steals, and 2.5 blocks per game. That's right, he was pouring in nearly 40 a night. He was starting to be blasted on social media pages for his insane highlights that multiple NBA players caught wind of it. Steph Curry in particular praised the young man at the point for what he was accomplishing down there. Williamson then won the MVP at the Farm Bureau Insurance Classic and later exploded in popularity even more when the rapper Drake started sporting his jersey. Then comes his final year in high school. Don't worry, he didn't dip in production this season. He averaged 36.4 points, 11.4 rebounds, and 3.5 assists per game. This was all while he battled foot and thumb injuries as well, making it that much more impressive. He got named to the USA Today All-USA First Team and the Max Preps All-American Second Team. Then finally, he was second place in the voting for Mr. Basketball USA. At this stage in his life, every option possible was on the table for him. He was an easy 5-star recruit and essentially had his choice of college. He had 16 Division I offers at the end of his sophomore season just to really put it into perspective, though he made it clear that he wanted to wait until he graduated to make a decision. Among the schools that sent offers early were Clemson, South Carolina, and Florida. When he was ready to make a decision, it was one offer that really stood out to him. That offer came from Duke. He decided to commit to the team, and in his reasoning, he did it because Duke stood out because the brotherhood represents a family. In college, Zion played just one season with Duke Blue Devils. In all honesty though, that was probably all that he needed to do. He dropped 29 points and 13 rebounds in his very first preseason game with the school and picked up right where he left off of his regular season. He dropped 28 points in 23 minutes of action in a win over Kentucky. The stats just kept on pouring through the front doors for Zion and Duke from this point on. Williamson was awarded Freshman and Player of the Week honors straight away for what he was able to do. He helped take them into the March Madness tournament as a high seed, and people from all over the country wanted to watch just for him. In fact, CBS created a camera angle that was specifically set for Zion, as he would only follow him as he played. He helped them win a few games before they lost by 1 point to Michigan State in the Elite Eight. Though he didn't suffer an injury at some point throughout the year, which could have played a minimal role. He got named the Sporting News Player of the Year and Freshman of the Year and won the ACC Athlete of the Year, and also got ACC Tournament MVP honors just to top it all off. By the end of the season, Zion officially declared for the NBA draft. Every single team in contention for the number 1 overall pick was certain that they would select him with those rights. After the lottery concluded, it was the New Orleans Pelicans that won it all. The second he signed with the team, fans couldn't wait to watch him. He had 22 points and 7 rebounds while scoring 17 straight points in his NBA debut with the team. He then dropped at least 20 points in 4 straight games, the longest streak by any rookie that year. Also tied for the longest streak by a Pelican in the history. Unfortunately though, he missed a handful of games here and there due to some minor injuries. It didn't keep him out long enough for holding on to an average of 22.5 points, 6.3 rebounds, and 2.1 assists per game on a ridiculously hot 58.3% shooting from the field. He got awarded NBA All-Rookie First Team honors and was the first rookie since the legendary Michael Jordan to score of 20 points 16 times throughout his first 20 career games. He looked like the next LeBron James. The following year, he showed that even more. He set a new career high in points at 36 halfway through the season and missed only 1 out of his 14 shot attempts on the day. That was just a taste of what he was able to do throughout the year. The man averaged 27.0 points, 7.2 rebounds, 3.7 assists, and 2.7 turnovers a game that season. You don't often see a player put up numbers quite like this in just his second year in the league. The fan and coaches thought that his number were good enough to lock him into the NBA All-Star game. The stats were piling up, and at this point, he was considered a flat-out superstar. The year went on a little different. He suffered a fracture in his foot during the offseason and required surgery to heal it. It was supposed to be healed by the start of the season, but setback after setback started to happen. He was expected to be out until mid-October, then projected to be out until December. Then when December came around, it got pushed back by another 4 to 6 weeks. Some thought maybe the All-Star break. Then we got there, and the doctors shut him down for the year. It was a rough time, but the Pelicans and the rest of their fan base know what they could get out of him in the future. They are certain that he is in the next phase of the league, and the numbers help back this statement up a little bit. He got offered a massive 5-year rookie extension from the Pelicans worth up to $231 million. I think it's more than safe to say that he's worth the money that has been given. Here's to hoping that the injuries don't hold him back from reaching his true potential. At the end of the day though, Zion Williamson had to fight and claw his way all the way to the top. Those early morning wake-up sessions to train only helped him improve his overall game. The help from his stepfather and mother allowed him to learn other positions that he doesn't even play, like the point guard, making him a threat that not many opposing teams have seen much of lately. Above all, Williamson made sure to let the world know that he's a star through and through. From the tons of endorsements that were thrown his way, to the publicity, to the popularity. Wherever you look with Zion, he's got people desperate to watch him play. You don't get that unless you're truly one of a kind.